Please rise. Please be seated. Welcome, friends and family, as we gather today to celebrate the union of Drew and Victoria. Sorry, my notes here say to pause for a huge round of applause, so let's start over from the top. Now that is more like it, folks. We are all here today to support this commitment of love and to share in the joy of Drew and Victoria as they choose to spend their lives together. Thank you to Linda, Hugh and Joan, Sue and Dave for your presence here today. You get VIP front row seats here at Paradise Falls in the Splash Zone for being such incredible sources of love and support for Drew and Victoria. I mean, this venue is so beautiful. I say we just book this thing for a few more days. You got your wedding and honeymoon all in one, 2-for-1 special. I cannot think of a more fitting place than Paradise Falls for an occasion that I know is not only monumental for the wedded couple to be, but for all of us who know and love you guys as a perfect pairing. So thank you very much to the parents for helping this ceremony today. To the other family members in the audience, both with us here in spirit and here in the audience, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins, 10 cousins, Drew and Victoria are so lucky to have you in their lives. As Winston Churchill once stated, there is no doubt that it is around the family that all the greatest virtues, the most dominating virtues of human are created, strengthened, and maintained. So family members, thank you for helping Drew and Victoria grow into the wonderful people they are today. We are family. To the friends in the audience, thank you for traveling all the way down to sunny San Diego to show your support of Drew and Victoria and for being a part of their love story. Like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh said, friendship, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Never, no never, your friendship is the best present ever. I firmly believe that friends are like the family you get to choose. Drew and Victoria are lucky to have chosen you all. Well, the friends that I chose can best be described by Garth Brooks' hit, I've Got Friends in Low Places. But after taking one look at this crowd today, I know Garth Brooks wasn't referring to a single one of you. This is the most beautiful wedding crowd I have ever seen. So thank you very much for being here today. Now to introduce the people standing up here to my left and to my right. To my left, we have best man Dave coming in all the way from New Zealand. Brothers Jonathan and Michael, and friends from Jerebeck, Marshall Middle, Scripps Ranch High, and UCLA, Ian, Jake, Josh, John, Stanley, and Andrew. You all cleaned up nicely from the bachelor party. And to my right side, the more attractive side of this ceremony, we have Victoria's two maids of honor, Nicole and Courtney, and friends from SDSU, work, family, and Craigslist, Sarah, Sandra, Julie, Cassie B, number one Randy, and my beautiful girlfriend Megan. Don't forget your jacket. Now to introduce myself. My name is Reverend Kevin. I am Drew's youngest brother. I have not been married, and I have never been an officiant for a wedding before. So, Drew and Victoria went with the least experienced person they know to do this job on one of the most important days of their lives. That's like Googling a restaurant, seeing it has 0 reviews, then inviting 150 people to come join you for dinner and hope that the food is edible. Well, cheers, folks. Now that we've gotten through the appetizers of this ceremony, let's move on to the main entree, the wedding couple. Welcome to your wedding day. The day has finally come, and I am honored to stand up here beside you two on such a special occasion. I am your brother, your ex-roommate, your current dog sitter, and one of your biggest fans. The relationship you two have created is something to be very proud of. I want to share with the audience where you guys have been, where you are today, and where you're headed. Victoria, you look absolutely stunning. My brother is a very lucky man. You were raised in San Jose, being the oldest of 2 kids and the daughter of 2 very hardworking parents. You are a Cali girl with English roots. That means you were hooked on caffeine from tea at a young age. In fact, when asked about one of his favorite memories growing up with you, your brother Michael shared about the time you guys rewrote the song lyrics to Les Miserables to be about tea. Les Miserables. Speaking of, do you know what drink a defense attorney is most afraid of? Guilt tea. I thought you would like that, Victoria. Victoria, when you walk into rooms, I think there is a natural spotlight on you. I think it is a combination of your sweet personality and because you grew up performing in musical theater. You are graceful and a smooth operator. Whether it was singing or dancing, you seemed like quite the talented rock star growing up. When your dad was asked to reflect on your childhood, your dad described you as kind, loving, joyful, happy, determined, and passionate. When your mom was asked to do the same, she described you as kind, sensitive, creative, very social, fun-loving, and having great pitch. It is to no surprise that you ventured to San Diego to major in theater and then go on to travel the world, entertaining crowds with your beautiful singing voice. You then chose to be land-dwelling again and found yourself a job here in San Diego. Shout out Paylise! Now let's see where this stud of a man you are marrying came from. Drew, you are the firstborn child of Sue and Dave, who came to Southern California from Kansas to start a family. You were raised in a household full of sports, camping, and 2 little brothers who constantly kept you busy. Your parents reflected on how determined you were growing up. Whether it was running the most laps in running club or teaching yourself how to read, you always gave tasks in front of you your best effort. Your brother Jonathan described you as protective, smart, trustworthy, punctual, and responsible. Except for that time you dressed up as a male cheerleader with your friends in high school and got the Powder Puff football game canceled for many years. Your youngest brother Kevin says, "Thanks a lot, man." Drew, you always seem to be at a natural state of high achievement throughout your school years, from being the commissioner of academics to being the president of your fraternity. After following in Granddad's footsteps by attending law school and acing the bar, you moved back down to San Diego and became a full-time attorney. I know one of your current bosses is actually in the crowd today, so I wish to revise my statement from earlier. You allegedly dressed up as a male cheerleader in high school. Thank you for coming back to San Diego. It is so fun spending time with you. You are the best oldest brother I've ever had. So the year is 2015. We have 2 young professionals working in the same city, enjoying their mid-20s, and they both decide to make a profile on a dating app. After this digital connection was made, these 2 have been inseparable. I want to touch on 3 events that I have been a witness to in this love story of Drew and Victoria. If you think of a marriage as a house, these 3 events occurred in the pouring of the foundation for that house. Event number 1. I call this event the first smooch. I remember Drew coming up to Scripps one night. His confidence is usually running pretty high, but on this evening, his confidence was just off the charts. We went on a run together, and this guy was at like a 4-minute mile pace. We took a break. He's pumping out one-handed push-ups, and he's talking like 1,000,000 miles a minute. The last time I saw Drew this excited was when he got the Pokemon card Charizard when he was about 10 years old. So I had to ask him what was up. He and Victoria had kissed for the very first time. That was my first indicator that something here was different. Knowing Drew, he is typically a calculated and stoic man, yet somehow this girl Victoria had turned him into some smiley little thing that had big dreams and couldn't stop talking. This was their initial spark of attraction. Victoria's mom was asked about this connection and thought it was twofold. Number 1, you two make an extremely attractive couple. But more importantly, number 2, your personalities complement each other very well. Event number 2. I call this event smooch number 2. I'm kidding. I call this event a true test. There is more to a relationship than just the initial spark. A strong relationship is one that has been tested through good times and tough times. A true test of this relationship, or any relationship really, is to go camping with the Londerholms. Many of you campers are in the crowd today, and you can vouch for me. No matter how early you wake up in the morning, Dave Londerholm has already consumed half a pot of coffee, and he is ready to get going. So it was the summer of 2018, and Drew and Victoria went on a camping trip with the Londerholms to Yosemite. They drove for 7 hours throughout the night, pulled up to the campground at 4 a.m., slept for approximately 10 minutes, and hit the Half Dome trailhead by sunrise. After hiking 8 miles, Drew, Victoria, myself, and Megan made it to the backside of Half Dome to climb the cables. Right when we arrive, it starts to get real windy, and Megan and I are 100% psyched out. We sat there crying. Seriously, crying. Drew tried to convince us everything was okay. Next thing we know, Victoria is halfway up the backside of Half Dome, and she is not stopping. Drew runs to catch up to her, and they crush this hike together. Just when I thought Victoria could not get any more impressive, she sings a beautiful song at the campfire that night with some neighbors that we were camping next to. I witnessed the drive and motivation that exists in this relationship. When these two have their minds set on the same goal, they are going to achieve it together. When the going got tough, Drew and Victoria rose to the occasion. Don't let the glitz and glamour of today fool you. This couple is not afraid to roll up their sleeves, conquer their fears, and pursue their dreams together. Event number 3. I call this event Jazzy J. It was clear that Drew and Victoria were experiencing love that they had never felt before. Drew invited Victoria to a brunch in May of last year. Little did she know that a proposal was on the menu for that morning. Just a couple months after Drew popped the question, they found out that their Rhodesian Ridgeback puppy was going to be ready for pickup. If the way this couple treated their newborn puppy is any indication of their future parenting skills, your future children are going to be some very lucky ducks. Drew and Victoria flew out to a small town in Texas and drove their little ball of fur named Jasmine all the way back to San Diego, just so the puppy could avoid traveling alone in a big, scary plane. You two have raised Jasmine together, and she has turned into a fine young doggie who is loved by everyone she meets, especially if they give her rabbit-flavored treats. Your tag team parenting provides a perfect mixture of discipline and love snuggles. You two have such a bright future, and we are so excited for you all to start a family together. It has been a pleasure being your Rev Kev, and it would be so nice to be Uncle Kev one day. Now we stand here today, and I ask you both to take a look at the crowd. Look at how many people are here in support of this relationship. It's okay, you can wave. I am sure the members in the audience all have fond memories of spending time around you two also. We all know how deeply you two care for one another, and it is a privilege to be here today as a witness of your commitment to a lifetime of love. Now we will get to hear from Drew and Victoria, as the bride and groom have each prepared vows they will now share with each other. Victoria, we can start with you.
Sorry, I have the eyes of an 80-year-old woman. Okay. I can't believe we're here. I'll start by saying I'm so honored, lucky, and proud to become your wife. From now to forever, I choose you, Pikachu. 5 years ago, I wrote a checklist of the qualities that would make up my perfect partner. He would be kind, he would be strong, he would be smart, confident, silly, down-to-earth, witty, and loyal. He would like, or at least be indifferent, to country music, musical theater, How I Met Your Mother, and Thai food. He would love me, for my weirdness, for my talents, for my strengths, for my insecurities, my weaknesses, and my family and friends. 4.5 years ago, a dating app led me to you. Thank you for swiping right. The moment I first saw you, before we even spoke, I had an intuition that I would know you for a very long time. We started dating, and you checked off every box on my list. You were exactly the man I'd been praying for. I thought, this guy is too good to be true. I don't deserve this. True. You are everything I've always wanted. I wish you were a better dancer, but we're working on that. You are such a good person. I love the way you fiercely care and protect those you love. I love your confidence and your steadfast loyalty. You're my teammate in life. You make me feel so loved, protected, and safe. Plus, you're pretty easy on the eyes. I mean, hot damn. Life is so much better with you. I love your commitment to your work, your friends, and your truly, truly incredible family, who has already felt like my family for a long time. I can't thank them enough for raising my perfect partner, the intimate yang. Over the last 4 years, we've grown together and learned a lot from each other. You always say that I make you a better person, but you make me one. You've helped me to become more confident in myself, to care less about the things that don't matter or bring negative energy. You always remind me to focus on what truly matters in life. Pokemon Go. Just kidding. Family, friends, Jazzy, and building our future together. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for us. Whatever happens, good or bad, sick or healthy, poor or filthy, filthy rich, I promise to be your teammate, to have your back, and to work with you to build the life that we want for our family. I promise to listen to you when you rant about Tesla and Elon Musk's latest rocket launch, or I'll pretend to listen. I promise to annoy you with my puns, because 7 days without a pun makes 1 week. I promise to bring you donuts and iron your shirts when you're stressed, and to speak your love language with little acts of service. I promise to try to find the bright side in any dark situation and slowly but surely restore your faith in humanity. I promise to never stop getting to know you when we inevitably change and grow over the years. I promise to love, respect, and trust you. I promise to be your lover, companion, and friend. Your partner in parenthood, your ally in conflict, your greatest fan, your camping buddy, your Clyde. Most importantly, I promise to choose you. I couldn't choose to love you. I didn't have a choice. My heart chose you. But today, I'm committing the rest of my life to you. Andrew Justin Londerholm, I'm yours today, tomorrow, and forever.
And Drew, good luck following that up.
All right, I can't say that I'm as entertaining as our officiant or as heartfelt as my lovely bride, but I have to build in myself a little reflection point here. But $1 to the person who can name Kleenex's publicly traded parent company. No? No one. See me after the show, sir. Kimberly Clark. And now everyone will get the reference. I think Kimberly Clark should fly a representative from Irving, Texas to personally thank Victoria for keeping their sales up in Q3. Victoria Jane Reese had a nice ring to it. It's not really part of the vows. I just wanted to be the last person to correctly use your full maiden name. I also figured a little distraction would have the added benefit of resetting my emotional stability after hearing your vows. You know, a month ago I figured I wouldn't be nervous, considering I appear in courtrooms part of my job. Last time I checked, Kevin isn't a grumpy old judge, you aren't an angry attorney, and all of our guests aren't underpaid court staff, so I can comfortably say I'm not nervous. But I also figured I would be emotional. Guess what? I was right again. So I am doing my best to keep it together. Here goes something. As cliche as it sounds, it really is hard to believe that today is already here. We were warned aplenty, but sometimes you just have to experience it to understand. So I guess it's true what they say. Time flies when you're having fun. Or more aptly put, time flies when my fiance is planning a wedding for a year, 4 months, and a day. I must admit that planning a wedding doesn't exactly play to my strengths. But I did my best to help when possible. Usually that meant driving somewhere, reading paperwork, or walking Jasmine, house tasks. Not a long list, to say the least. So I may not have directly contributed much to this perfectly planned and gorgeous wedding, but at least Jasmine is in fighting shape. It's been a fast-paced, but fun, enlightening, and memorable engagement, and I wouldn't trade the memories for anything, not even a Tesla. Many years ago, in the dark ages before I met you, I came to the realization that we all get to a point in our lives where the thrill and the excitement of a first time doing something has all but disappeared. We experience the majority of our personal firsts from the time of birth through young adulthood. This is a revelation that probably goes unnoticed to the less introspective, or it's simply written off as an obvious byproduct of the progression of life. But either way, I think we can all agree that the feeling we get from the first time experiencing something new is an unparalleled sensation. It can cause an emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical response. One of the many things that draws me to you is your ability to open doors, allowing me to experience more firsts than I would on my own. Today is no exception. This will be our first day as a married couple, and I cherish it. I feel grateful that I get to stand here across from the most incredible, awe-inspiring woman that I have ever met, surrounded by so many of our friends and family. Each day is an opportunity, and you know how to seize it. Your positivity and thirst for life are a beacon of light and joy in an otherwise fairly monotonous world. I look forward to and live for the many more firsts for us, especially as our family grows and our bonds strengthen. Before I get into my promises to you, I want to share a brief story. As you know, the past few months, I've been walking Jasmine a lot. The only way I can help, it seems like. Nearly every morning on the boardwalk or in Seaport Village, I come across an elderly couple walking along. Every time I see them, without fail, they're holding hands. An act so simple, yet so telling. They support each other, comfort each other, day in and day out. They walk together, side by side, reliable and constant. A symbol of love's true power. And I see that in our future. And in order to help us get to that future, I promise you these things. I promise to love you, to respect you, to listen, to mind my tone, be honest, to protect you, to take out the trash, care for our fur babies, provide for our family, love your family as my own, instill our values in our children, and to be goofy with you. And it's with these vows in mind that I'm humbled to walk the path of life with you, experiencing all the firsts life has to offer with your hand in mine. I love you.
Wise words from a wise man. Thank you both for sharing today. This union is not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and with a deep realization of its obligations and responsibilities. Now I'm going to ask you both an important couple of questions, and if you agree, you can say, I do. We will start with you, Victoria. Victoria, do you take Drew to be your husband?
I do.
Do you promise to love, honor, protect, and cherish him forevermore?
I do.
And Drew, do you take Victoria to be your wife?
I do.
Do you promise to love, honor, protect, and cherish her forevermore?
I do.
Awesome. Let's move on to the rings. Drew and Victoria will now exchange rings as a symbol of love and commitment to each other. I'll take them now. Okay. Your wedding rings are special because they mark the beginning of a long journey together. Your wedding ring is a circle, a symbol of love never ending. It has the seal of the vows that you have just taken to love each other without end. Victoria, please. No, you can take. Thank you. Please place the ring on Drew's left hand and repeat after me. As a sign of my love.
As a sign of my love.
That I have chosen you.
That I have chosen you.
Above all else.
Above all else.
With this ring I thee wed.
With this ring I thee wed.
Go, Drew. And Drew, please place the ring on Victoria's left hand and repeat after me. As a sign of my love.
As a sign of my love.
That I have chosen you.
That I have chosen you.
Above all else.
Above all else.
With this ring I thee wed.
With this ring I thee wed.
Great work, you two. In marriage, we wish that you two can promise to honor your similarities and your differences. Promise to look for the best in each other every day. And promise to hold each other close so nothing in the world comes between you. Congratulations, guys. By the power vested in me by AmericanFellowshipChurch.com, it is my delight to declare you married. You may now kiss the bride. I present to you for the very first time Drew and Victoria Londerholm.